Hello,
Hey, hey, hey.
how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Good to see
I'm
you.
home. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Can I just be
yeah,
like this? Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, you be wherever you want. How's
Good to see you, by the way.
yeah,
So good,
very
man. It's
very good
been.
to see you. The last time we saw each other was in Slovenia at
Yeah,
May.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
and that
And
feels like
before that, probably Reeperbahn. No, maybe as well. Or no,
no,
no, no, no, no, no, no. It was.
no.
Yeah, no.
I think
Mm,
I'm not sure where when it was before that, but
mm.
yeah. Anyway, so as I do with these interviews, I usually start off by asking my guests to just give a quick background and give some, some insight into who you are, what you do, your story, and so on. So go for it.
All right. So I work. I run a small business in the music industry that provides services around digital marketing. So my clients are either artists directly or managers, management agencies, small record labels. Before COVID, also festivals. Um, there's actually one festival left in Switzerland where I'm
Yeah,
from
yeah,
originally. So they now have they have their main sponsor actually backs them up all year. So they went completely, just doing live streams with quite well-known acts in Switzerland, and they are for their main sponsor is an insurance company. So they
okay,
actually do now what they preach, and actually keep the festival alive in this sense.
yeah, 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 absolutely.
So yeah, yeah. So I started specializing in digital marketing the moment I decided to leave my old life or job, kind of, if you want.
Yeah,
And I originally I've been promoting small live shows in Bern,
exactly. Yeah,
Switzerland. We're running a tiny YouTube channel, and that's how I then discovered other YouTube channels.
yeah,
For example, in Beirut, right,
yeah.
called like yours. And then I think I reached out to you. And also
I
at the time,
yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say because this is what I wanted to get into because I
Mm,
remember. So you had Play Live Burn,
yep.
and you had artists that I liked a lot: Stu Larson,
Yeah.
Modi, Alex Vargas.
Yeah.
Modi, who's become a good friend of mine now, and Stu Larson, who I brought over to Beirut after having seen him on your channel. So it's a funny little world, and I wanted you to tell me a bit more about that period. So Play Live Burn, how was it? Why did
Mm.
you start it, and why did you stop it in the end?
I started it because I got very bored in my old job and rediscovered um, that my actual passion with that has always been music. In the sense, I mean, I've been playing the guitar since I was 14 years old, and just always been really enjoying music. So music has been a big. Never really knew what to do, and also really haven't been in any way in the music industry. And then I actually started reducing my job as a teacher more and more, and started building up this promotions kind of brand. At the beginning was just showcases, and then I just through this got to know other promoters, and always, to be very honest, Stu Larsen is a good example for this. By the way, try to get around the national and a bit more European promoters.
Yeah,
And I remember being on a call with Rebecca, Stu's manager at that time, who's at IE Music, who I still see quite not frequently, but here and there, through the MMF here when we meet in London at all these. She's in the board now of the MMF. And I remember being on the phone with her because Stu needed a visa or something. So I walked him to the to the American embassy in Bern, and we just tried to fix all, like just tried to help assist. And that's how for me it started. So I just was just promoting these shows, getting the maximum we did was 250 people. That was a big showcase.
yeah,
And then the smaller ones were 50 people, but it was actually always sold out, and it was always focusing on singer songwriters.
yeah,
And the plan or basic idea was to bring them into Bern and connect the world through, a bit more
yeah,
with Bern. And also we always had a national headliner, so a headliner from Switzerland. So we tried to, have them,
Yeah.
meet each other whenever that was possible. And we set up the YouTube channel just to leave something a bit more. At that time, I was still very naive and very like into this idea of like, selling this as an extra in the package.
Yeah.
We just didn't know that the industry actually really doesn't work like that. And there's also like,
Yeah, of
that's
course.
actually record labels who signed this, up or
Yeah.
like signed this off. And yeah, so that's how, and then I decided to quit because I got more and more into this, and I saw more and more how it works, and I saw that this is what I really really want to do. At the same time, I found myself caught in this tiny country, right? And in a beautiful paradise in a way. Switzerland is probably one of the most beautiful places to be. But that's just too cold, but otherwise it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, and then and safe, and it's just perfect in a way. People actually pay money for gig, and have money to spend on culture, so it's
Yeah.
great for musicians. But I also found that I started going to all these showcase festivals. My neighbor at that time, Frank, Swiss PR, took me to all these events, got to know a lot of people. Went to, I think it's been my 8th year now. The last time it was, Reeperbahn, definitely be 7 times at Great Escape in the past years. And I got into it, and I always felt like it's good to be a talent buyer, but also I didn't really feel taken seriously, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I perceived it at the
Yeah.
time, because
Yeah.
I felt I'm definitely a part of the industry maybe, but also didn't really see how I could grow this and maybe become a national promoter, and then maybe
Yeah.
be cool. But I kind of, just to be very honest, always felt that's like not enough for myself.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just, to be honest, what I felt. And then I kept coming to London, and just at some point decided just to stay. And then first wanted to go back and forth, and then realized there's no chance to even like, um, settle in a way,
Yeah.
especially in the UK, which
Yeah.
is it's probably very similar to Switzerland from the immigration perspective. It's not the easiest. It's not exactly a place where
Ex-
I don't know, you would feel welcome. It's easy, maybe you feel welcome, but not really be
Yeah.
integrated. It's not that easy. So I was actually super fortunate. I made a few friends here already, people who are, a lot of people actually I met originally through promoting, and then it got expanded, and
Yeah.
you
Absolutely.
know
And
that's
did
how.
how
Yeah.
was how in your opinion? So you moved to the UK.
Mm.
You started off your own agency,
Yeah.
and so how was it? How was the music scene for you in Switzerland when you started? So when you were promoting, and today now when you're acting as a manager, a digital marketer, you're doing all the back stuff that nobody really is even aware of how much work goes into that. How has the music scene in Switzerland, in your opinion, evolved through that time? I don't know if you still work with Swiss artists, but from your perspective, when you look at
Mm.
Switzerland, how do you feel it's evolved over these past 5, 6, 7 years?
Maybe more what I perceive hasn't changed first, which is easier to spontaneously now. And that will probably be how important radio still is, national radio is. They have
Okay.
these 2 main radio stations, Schweizer Radio and SRF,
Okay.
which is, still social media is something they now, I feel, start doing more.
Yeah.
But still, radio is very important. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Compared to other markets, I see people spend a lot of money on radio pluggers, but also having great success with it if it works out. So
Okay.
so it's actually quite interesting for radio play in Switzerland is still Yeah.
Okay.
So, which has always been actually always played to my favor, I think, because you have usually been a bit uh, kind of ahead of this in a way.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, but it's changing. It's not that people aren't aware, they're very, very aware, especially now this year.
Yeah.
There's this national um anthem music, and they now make digital marketing kind of a priority. They actually invited me as a speaker there, which is
Cool.
very funny. It's very funny. And then, yeah, so I think it is, obviously people are, I sounded so negative. It's not, it's definitely digital marketing. They're very aware, but yeah, just
Yeah.
talking to other people, I feel it's been more widespread.
Okay. And so now you currently work with two artists. You manage two artists,
For
or
management, I have two. I have a producer called Louis Ryan,
yeah.
and there's Zoe Lilly,
Okay.
and this was an artist. That's actually my, let's say, the development side of. So I've been working freelance for a very long time, and it's just recently Play Live Artist. It's now officially actually become a company,
Okay.
which is sim for a very, it's just for tax reasons, to be
Yeah.
honest, because
Yeah.
it's just more efficient for me to, I'll just pay
Yeah.
less tax as a limited company.
Of
It's as
course.
simple as that.
Of course.
So that was a
And
pure business. But the management is even though they're both doing well. So Zoe, by the way, that's just going to break next month. She's going to be part of the Tommy Jean's spring campaign.
oh,
So she's one
nice.
out of 21 talent. Can actually say that today because it just got like confirmed. So it's going to roll out in February. So
Nice.
that's big for her. So as a kind of it's a perfect brand as well,
Yeah.
and it's a music related campaign. So she's doing well. She's getting quite some work on the sync side and can make basically pay for her life just about,
Okay.
plus a bar job. But it kind of, obviously with COVID now it's very difficult, but she's just surviving.
Yeah.
And Louis is the same. He still teaches. He's a producer. Um, so it's growing. But it's just with them, it's not that I'm
Yeah.
making my money
And
really at the moment.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
this is why I wanted to ask, because I
Mm.
always have this debate with artist managers and
Mm.
people who develop artists. Do you think that being an artist manager in today's context, where normally artists their main income is from concerts mainly, and now that's been taken away, do you think that having a manager is a luxury or a necessity?
I think you can be self-managed. I mean, I think the best artists for a manager are the ones who are already self-managed, and then you come in as a manager.
Okay.
Which I can say is I'm very fortunate to have two of these. Zoe needs me a little bit more than Louis, who's like incredibly, he's also older, but incredibly business minded,
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect kind of setup. In the early days, you can do without manager, but I also genuinely believe that it's always better to have one because it's just generally so much there's just so much to do, right? There's so much pressure. And maybe if you're a band, you can even, if it's different members, you can even
Yeah.
share work a bit more and go a bit longer. But eventually, I think you need a manager either the moment, it's all certain admin things become too much and you have budgets to also pay for the services a
Yeah.
manager actually does. I mean, through your income, but you know, or then um yeah, you need a manager that's more of a developer, which is I think
Yeah. Yeah.
up
Yeah.
until recently I think I have been for my artists. And I think there's, yeah,
Yeah.
so is that kind of clear enough
Yeah, yeah, it is
as an
because
answer?
it's an interesting debate in general. I mean, there's no
Mm.
right or wrong in this, because there's some artists who are huge who don't have managers, and some who are tiny who have two managers. So there's
Mm.
no real rule. But I'm always curious to know what other people think,
Yeah.
and
I just think that when it comes to business, at the moment you actually start making money. So if I think of Zoe now, recently we had quite a few really good things. So she could do one with Sony, AXN, which is like entertainment channel, and then, but also now the Tommy, you know, project. If I imagine her emailing with all these people directly, you can do this. You're
Yeah.
just gonna get, as we all know, you're just gonna get less good of a deal usually, because it's just it's often just about having something or somebody in between, you know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you don't have to say certain things directly, or you just, my experience is with producers, I managed it too, but I help quite a few producers here and there, just to also, you know, learn, and just, you know, I
Yeah.
can't really commit to management, but I just help them and represent them, you know, track based. And just recently had the case of a producer, and he just, you know, like the moment I came in, he actually got paid properly, because just the moment
You,
somebody represents you, you know, people
yeah,
just
it changes. It changes. It's true because when,
they just treat you differently, you know,
yeah,
you know.
I have some friends who are musicians who back in the day at least they would create a fake email account on their
Yeah, that's
behalf.
great.
Yeah, just so that they could, because they could then speak as if, you know, the way they wanted to. They would be like, you know, we can say whatever we want here. We can
I
be
think
very
that's the
dramatic.
minimum you have to do, you know.
Yeah,
You know,
just
at the same time, obviously the industry sees through this, right? I mean, we both know that when
yeah, yeah,
booking
yeah.
acts, no, it's like the moment you see an artist having this kind of Gmail, and it's like I don't know, or if it's just like whatever band music at gmail.com,
Yeah,
or even if it's the domain, you just know, okay, they just don't have
yeah,
management.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree. That's the minimum you should do to give yourself some
Some
distance. Yeah,
distance, yeah.
yeah.
Another thing, so since you're a digital marketer and you know this game inside out, if today, well, it changes every day, so
It does.
no one can
It
really know it
does.
inside out.
I
But
know.
if you had to give like a release strategy for an artist who's dropping a single today, how would you tell them to do it? What's the best advice you can give them?
Use a platform that gives you cheap traffic and
Okay.
awareness. Don't hold anything back. Um, and then I say a platform that gives you cheap traffic. I think it's quite obvious that this is just TikTok at the moment.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then I'm not saying you need to, you know, you need to have a TikTok presence even, but you have to do something with your music on TikTok. So
Yeah.
if you really think you can't be on TikTok as an artist because you think, you know, that really doesn't work for you, then at least make sure other people use your music and spend all the energy you would be spending, you know, posting there, on plugging it, basically on syncing it, so that, you know, at least I think, but just be there to get discovered and bring traffic to your streaming channels. I
Okay.
think this is probably one good piece of advice, because
Okay.
it's even cheaper than ads, right? So if you have £50, $50, 50 whatever to spend,
Yeah.
it's probably better, I don't know,
Yeah,
to, you
it's
know,
become
yeah,
a good reference point. I mean, many
mm,
artists, many people shy off TikTok because they think it's for kids
mm,
and they think that, you know, it's you know, it's something that's just like a fad at the moment. But then you always remember Instagram was a photography app when it started, where photographers were trying to look
mm,
fancy and do good, you know, good pictures. And Facebook was a university app when it started. Like things
mm,
evolve. So now TikTok is this type of app, but it
yeah.
will evolve and it will change
And
eventually.
it's changed so much already, you know, in the past year, for example.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it looks like it's becoming just a regular video platform,
Exactly.
just like you say, yeah, just
Like,
another,
yeah.
not the same but different, like
And
YouTube or Insta, you know, just it in its own right. Yeah.
what do you feel about when artists are dropping a release, the concept of singles versus albums today? How do you see that? What do you think is the best strategy today?
I think like everyone at the moment, I have to repeat what everyone's usually have told you before.
Yeah,
But I think it's just clear. It's just don't do albums right now. It's just It's a waste of all your creative
Yeah.
energy and passion and everything. If you've put so much into it, just the worst thing you can do, I think, is release this on one day. I
Yeah.
think that's quite common knowledge by now. So, and obviously, yeah, just don't do this. What I think, what I do at the moment in all projects actually is obviously, I mean, usually we do EPs, but we only do EPs, you know, once all tracks are out, only one, add one or two more. And I think the same, you can do it with the album. But even in my opinion, why not go as far as to just, you know, release the whole album, even if you have non-singles in
Yeah.
it, it's still better to release them in 6 to 8 weeks, you know, gaps, and just have at least, because if you tell all your friends, if you tell your whole family, and then a bit more each time from social media, just a few new people, and you still get 2,000, 3,000 streams only per track, talking worst case scenario now when it really goes wrong, right? Because I mean, or then if it goes wrong, it's less than 1,000 streams. But let's say if you put your all into it in terms of, you know, promotional energy without even spending money, you might be able to get a couple of thousand streams, and that would be still more than having 0 streams, which is so frustrating on a, you know, and you see that
Yeah.
a lot now when bands come to you at the beginning, and then they have basically an album out and one track has 3,000 streams, and then, or 5,000, maybe 10,000, with, like, I'm talking super emerging artists, and then all the rest doesn't
Yeah.
have any streams. And I find this so,
Yeah.
you know, less in the UK,
Yeah.
but in Europe, I then see even people who actually spent a lot of money because they could, on compared to the UK market now, where artists tend to have, emerging artists tend to have a lot
Yeah.
lower business budgets. And then
Yeah.
you
I mean,
see that,
I agree with
and
you.
then
I
you see
think,
this, it's
I
very
think, I
sad,
think,
you know, to see, like, you spend so much on
yeah.
the production, but then, you know.
Yeah, because I think the same. I think if you release one track every 6 weeks or maybe every month, it's already okay. I mean, getting 8 songs out today or 12 songs in 1 year is it's a good return, you know. It's a good result
Yeah.
for any artist today. Like, it's because of how much promotion and content creation goes around this one single each time. By the end of a calendar year, you look at it and you realize, oh shit, I've released, you know, quite a few stuff.
I agree.
And then there's sessions that go with it. There's interviews. There's, you know, remixes or whatever that can happen along the way. You know, collaborations and yeah, I think it's the right way to go. And moving forward now, do you think that, I mean, given obviously the circumstances everywhere, how do you feel regarding the return to live music? Do you think it's imminent? Do you think, obviously it's going to be gradual? There's going to be a gradual process. Like, there's no way it's going to be like, yeah, everyone gets the vaccine, we can go to 1,000 capacity concert. It's not going to happen like that.
No.
But I want to know, how do you feel about the whole thing today with regards to concerts coming back?
You would have asked me in early December, or maybe, you know, mid-November, I would have still been so, I don't know, optimistic for summer festivals even, you know. And looking at us now, you know, it's again, yeah. So I don't know, but rationally, I think more and more it kind of becomes obvious that it's going to be a gradual return. If you do very small shows, I think there's going to be, for example, this summer in Central Europe, there will be loads of opportunities already, I think, you know. So there will be, like, if you do shows with maybe 50 people, I guess this will happen already in some form, you know, if vaccination progresses the way it's now started, if all the, I don't know, obviously if there's any setbacks there, then that wouldn't apply. But I think small events will happen, yeah, this summer, and then, but like all the big stuff is not going to happen.
Yeah.
For like I have yeah, everyone I know who runs festivals at the moment, obviously, I think nothing's gonna happen, because also no American headliner is gonna come to Europe,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Or to anywhere, you know.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Then, but then, like somebody who it's funny actually. You had Joss Stone as well, right?
Yeah.
So her booking agent actually just recently told me that, the problem is not even, and I think that's so true. It's not even how fast the industry will be able to come back, because they will be able to, we can set up events really quickly, right? Like
Yeah.
relatively quickly, but like people want trust, I guess, right? And
Yeah.
I think that's what he said, and that makes so much sense to me. And then,
Yeah.
so
I mean, put it this way: would you, if
probably going to be
let's say,
2022, right?
yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know,
if it,
before we.
forget events. I mean, today,
Mm,
if
mm.
the vaccine was, spread and everyone had taken it, would you enter a plane without a mask today? I doubt it. Like I wouldn't. I mean, the idea of sitting next to someone without a
I'm
mask
desperate
today.
to fly.
Yeah,
No, I know what
yeah.
you mean.
You know what
I
I
know
mean? I
what you
mean,
mean, but
as
yeah.
desperate as I am to fly, but
Mm, mm.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
know.
And what do you think about the live streaming formats that exist today? Do you think that there's a way for it to become a money maker? Because it is an alternative at the moment. I'm
Mm,
personally going to be testing next week 6 concerts that are paid, and I want to see how they're going to work. I'm organizing them.
cool.
I have no
Very nice.
idea
Yeah, you
what
should. No, it's good. I
I
love
want
it.
to test them, but I want to see what you think from your
Mm.
perspective, being in the UK, working with European artists. Do you think this is something that's going to become more and more common? Paid streamed concerts.
Mm. Ooh. Paid streamed concerts, probably some. I don't know to what degree, but probably I think it's worth that we all keep trying to just, the most important thing is that you try to monetize things, because I also think people are really willing to pay. You just have to find this kind of middle way of also providing something that is watchable from the artist's end without, Billie Eilish setup, right? Nobody can do this, right? So
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
wasn't even that good. I personally felt,
yeah, yeah.
compared to, the effort they put in. But so it's a case of, yeah, just make it worth paying for people, no? Like, and in this, so yeah, I think that there will be more and more of this. So everyone is, I think, trying to make this happen, but definitely not like at the very beginning of lockdowns, right? Like a lot of people said, it's just gonna, we just monetize it directly, and we've
Yeah,
all seen a lot of live streams, probably too many not good ones.
yeah,
So why would I pay? So I understand the consumer, but then again, if my favorite artist, who I have a really good connection with, does something and communicates to me properly why this is behind a paywall, I think there is opportunity there, and that's where you can, make money, and there's a business. Because let's not forget that also the majority of small showcases and small shows in the old world, also often didn't have many
yeah.
people. I've
Exactly,
been to more
exactly.
shows with no people, and like in the small level kind of,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and with
hundred
people. And
percent.
just people, just especially also artists at the moment, like for a reason, are complaining, and I think it's a terrible time. I just don't wanna say this, but let's not forget that not everything was just good
Yeah,
before. It wasn't just like.
exactly. Um, so right on time, because I was gonna say that's it's been a pleasure, Marcel. We've done a good job, and
Thank
thank
you
you
so
for
much.
coming.
Yeah, I
Thank
hope it
you.
helped
Yeah,
somehow. I mean,
yeah.
thank you very much for
No, because for me,
this. I
we
don't
always
do this about. I'm not a good speaker, man.
no.
But I
You're
really
perfect.
enjoyed. I really
You're
enjoyed talking
perfect.
to you.
Yeah, you're perfect, man. You'll see. Even when you'll rewatch yourself, you'll realize that it was perfect. So thank you so much, and let's keep in touch, man. Let's
Yep.
keep in touch as usual.
Yes.
We're always connected, you and I, anyway. So keep up the amazing
Right.
work you're doing, and let's speak soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And take good care.
You too. Bye.
See you, Anthony. Bye.